Alright, today's lesson is on compound transformations. Compound transformations are no different from the transformations we've already looked at. All we're doing is just multiple transformations at the same time. But something to keep in mind is that they're going to give you operations that we have to make sure to follow in order. So this example is showing us line segment PQ, and they're asking us to first rotate PQ 90 degrees, and then we're going to reflect over the y-axis. We have to make sure that we go in order, because if we don't go in order, it's going to give us the wrong solution. So, they gave us line segment PQ. I've already taken a second to write down the coordinates of PQ. We're going to want to make sure to do this because it's going to be a lot easier to do our rotation knowing what the coordinates are. If you remember, a 90-degree rotation, we had said that we're going to start off at xy and we're going to end up at y and opposite of x. So when I look at P, I'm going to switch my y coordinate so it's first, and my x coordinate is going to change signs. Same idea with Q. Q prime, we want 1 to come first, and we want to change the sign on our x coordinate, so 1, -4. Now I'm going to graph that right now. I'm going to go 6 and -2. That's P prime. Q tells me to go 1 and -4. That's Q prime. And then we're just going to connect our dots. Now the problem is not over. We still have to reflect over the y-axis. This is easy enough to do. I can see my y-axis. That's the one that goes straight up and down. So, two ways of doing this. If we know the formula, we can just, it tells us that our y-coordinate stays the same and our x-coordinate changes value. So, if we were to look at this, P double prime, x is going to become opposite sign, and y stays the same. Q double prime, x changes sign, y stays the same. Okay, so we have the coordinates. Now I'm going to show you the other way too. We know that this is our line of reflection, so all we would really have to do is just count how far away we are to that line of reflection. That happened to have been 6, so I want to go 6 in the opposite direction, which is going to put me over here. And I can just check, -6, -2. It's exactly where I wanted this. So P double prime. Q was 1 away, so I want it to be 1 away on the other side. Q double prime, and again, that's exactly where we originally thought it was going to land. It was at -1, -4. So we connect our coordinates. This is the solution to the problem that we were just looking for. Okay? Easy to do, just make sure that we go in order. So here's a new example. What I would suggest is maybe pause the video, try doing this one on your own, see what you come up with, and then if you resume the video, you'll be able to see what the answer looks like. So, if you paused it, let's see if you came up with the correct solution now. It asks us first to translate triangle ABC along a vector 6, -1. Then we're going to rotate 90 degrees. Here's the triangle they gave us. They didn't tell us the coordinates yet, so let's mark those down. A starts off at -5, 2. B starts off at -2, 5. And C is at -3, -2. That's just the starting coordinates. What we want to do first is translate along this vector, 6, -1. If you guys remember, all we have to do to translate is just add whatever they give us to our original points. So for A prime, -5 plus 6 is going to give us +1. 2 and -1 gives us 1. For B prime, -2 plus 6 gives us 4. 5 minus 1 gives us 4. And for C prime, negative 3 plus 6 is going to give us positive 3. Negative 2 minus 1 is going to give us negative 3. So we know where our first movement is. It's going to be here at 1, 1 for A prime, 4, 4 for B prime, and 3, negative 3 for C prime. Again, let's just take a quick second to connect all of our points. Something to take note of, notice how it's the exact same shape, we've just moved it over. We still have to rotate 90 degrees. Well, again, we remember what the 90-degree formula was. It's right here. We said y opposite of x. So we're just going to take all of these. We're going to make our y come first and change the sign on x. So for A double prime, y comes first. Change the sign on x. B double prime, that y comes first. Change the sign on x. And C double prime, y comes first, change the sign on x. And if you just heard a snorting just now, that was my dog who thinks that this is boring and she fell asleep. So you can ignore her snores. Alright, all we have to do is plot this. This is the solution that we're looking for, but we also want to see what it looks like on our coordinate plane. So we're going to go 1, negative 1 for A double prime. 4, negative 4 for C double prime, and negative 3, negative 3, oops, I'm sorry, that was B double prime. This is C double prime. And again, all we have to do is connect each of our points. And once we do that, we're done. So if you tried this on your own, did you come up with the correct rotation? Did it end up in the same spot? Did all of our coordinates match? I hope that they did. These are pretty easy. Just remember to go in order.